Hey guys, welcome to the Top Percentile. My name is Anay Dave, and I scored a rank of 9 in CET 2020. There was a score of 149. So, the last few days with the CET, the date we'll be releasing this on is the 15th of September, one day before the 16th, which is the first day of CET exams. And the most common question on your mind will be, what do you do before the exam? So this is a very tough question because it varies from person to person what you should do before you're going. Like this is a question about how you go to the center, when you're on the way to the center, when you're at the center, and all the procedure, every procedure that's required after that. So we'll kind of take this in a couple of parts and try to answer this. But I had a very strict routine that I used to follow. Now, firstly, I'd like to mention a couple of things. Now, the exam is spread out on 3 days. So you have 16th, first, second, or first slot, second slot. Same every day. You have two slots. This is the morning slot. There's an afternoon slot. Now, the ones in the afternoon, your reporting time is I think 12:30. Correct me if I'm wrong, but if it's at 12:30, you'll be eating something. You'll be eating breakfast before you go. So everyone who is in that slot, please make sure that you eat something and you drink a little bit of water, but please do not drink or eat too much because you will not get to go to the exam in the middle of the center. You won't get to go to the washroom in the middle of the exam. You will not feel comfortable solving as fast as you would otherwise if you've eaten too much or if you've eaten too less. You don't want to be in a situation where you're very hungry at the end of the paper. At the same time, it's probably better choice to be hungry than be overfull and feel sleepy during the paper. So if given a choice, eat lesser, but please do not overeat before you go. For the ones in the morning slot, please make sure that you eat something so you have sufficient energy to go the 2.5 hours properly with full concentration because it's the final day of your prep. It's a day that matters, and this is the day that counts the most. Okay, so just explaining overall from this perspective, people who are in the afternoon slot eat, but not too much. But make sure you eat, make sure you drink water. I think water is one of the most important parts. So if you're watching this right now and you've not been drinking water, at least 24 to 36 hours before the exam, you should have your water content high. But coming to the last few hours before the exam, please do not drink too much water because this will impede your exam. You can imagine the things that can go wrong in the exam. Please don't drink too much water before the exam, immediately before the exam. Like let's say 2 hours before the exam, don't drink too much water. But before, please make sure you're hydrated. Your body needs the water. Keep the throat. Everything. It needs hydration. It's a scientific fact. You need a lot of water, so please drink water. And we do not, especially sitting at home, we do not. And with all the laddus and everything that we've been eating lately, I'm sure no one is eating, no one is drinking water. It's just Coke, Pepsi, etc. But no one's drinking water. But anyway, so the first thing was that you focus on what your slot is. I'm sure you guys are already waking up at that time where your exam is going to be. Make sure that you're solving questions at that time. At least you're used to solving questions during that time. That's the aim. And another important thing is that you know where your center is. You know where your center is. You know how much time it's going to take for you to travel from your house to the center. Just keep in mind a 30-minute buffer, around a 30-minute buffer, so that even on the last day, if there is some issue that happens, you are there before reporting time. You can sit in the car, you can sit in the hall. They usually let you take books inside. They let you can always be a little smart, take your phone to the bathroom and before they tell you to keep it in the bag. You can always manage these tricks and enter the room last or towards the end, like, to when there are, let's say, 5-10 minutes left for the report, for the time to end. But you can usually find these spots and you can do it. So I would suggest reaching early so that at least you aren't late. But when it comes to other prep that you need to do now, you have to reach early. Just plan out how you're going to go there. If you're going to take your own car and not go with anyone else, please make sure the parking is not going to be a hassle, because I think if supposing you reach there and don't find parking around, it ruins your mindset. So just keep these things in mind. It's just something from an overall perspective, morning, afternoon, whenever you are. Now coming to the 3 days, 16, 17, 18th. If you're 16th first slot, remember that you are the first person if there is any surprise. It means that everyone who's with you gets surprised. That flattens the playing field, because normalization is going to push your scores up in case there's a lot of surprises and everyone scores lower. Normalization will push your score up. Don't worry about that. So if you are in the first slot on 16, just remember, take it as it comes, solve every question as it comes. Do not have any things that, have any preconceived notions that that this is how the paper is going to be. In fact, you of all people cannot have that. And there is no reason to have, because you have to be ready for any type of paper that comes. I was first day, first slot. I was ready for any changes in the paper. I was ready for any pattern changes, any different types of questions coming, whatever would happen, I was ready for it. Just because I thought that, it's going to get normalized in the end, it doesn't matter. And it did not matter in the end. If you're confident, you are going to get through. That's it. That's all you have to think about. Don't cry about you being the first day, first slot. Don't cry about you being last day, last slot. Doesn't matter. What you get is what you get. Go and do it. That's it. Okay. Now coming to first day, second slot, the people over here will have some news about what happened earlier. Don't count on it, because you might think that, yeah, the pattern has changed, but it might change for you as well. It might be a surprise for you as well. It doesn't matter. The point is, everyone who's taking the exam with you is taking the same exam. You'll be taking the same questions. Everything will be the same for you in that particular slot. And in the end, it gets normalized. Everyone gets in from every slot. There is no topper who's from one slot. It is not like that. Everyone gets a normalized score, and in the end becomes flat. So just give it your best. If you are one of the top few rankers in your slot, it's going to be fine. Okay. Now, the same thing will be there for 17th and 18th, but obviously you guys have a lot more data to work with. You'll have analysis from 17th completely, like you'll have crystal clear analysis from 16th, from 16th if you're taking on the 17th or 18th. If you're on the 18th, then you'll be having 16th and 17th analysis at the end of the day. So even though you have a lot of analysis, please don't let it change your strategy. Don't let it change how you're going to solve the paper. We made a video on how your exam strategy should change based on a tough or easy mock. Just keep in mind that your exam strategy does not change. Just the pace with which you solve questions and your focus on accuracy or speed will change, nothing else. So keep that in mind. Irrespective of which slot you are in, just keep in mind that you need to top that slot. That's it. Doesn't matter which slot you are in, doesn't matter whether teachers are taking, doesn't matter who is taking in your slot, how many of your topper friends are taking, how many of your not topper friends are taking, doesn't matter. It is going to all flatten out. You have to be the topper of that batch, of that slot. Just remember that much. That's all you have to keep in mind, right? So when it comes to more finer details about what your prep has to be before this, I think I've explained from a bird's eye point of view what your mindset should be, how you should be approaching the exam, the food, how you reach there on time, and how much analysis you do. But when it comes to actual things that you as an individual do, I'll tell you what I used to do. So as I mentioned, I had a very strict routine over here. So I would, let's say my exam is at 9 o'clock. I'd written a to-do list about how I have to go about it. So I used to write down a to-do list about the admit card, for, that I need to carry the admit card, carry a bottle of water, carry some, I think I used to carry my driving license to the exam. So I used to remember that, keep the wallet, keep the driving license inside, because that's the proof I'd given. So whatever your proof is, or whatever they've asked, if they've given an option, please carry the option. If they've specified something, please make sure you carry it. But just remember, keep a couple of pens. You have to keep a couple of pens. So just keep a to-do list of all these things. Remind yourself to drink water, but not within the 2 hours leading to the exam. Go to the washroom before the exam starts, then sit for the paper, because you need those 2.5 hours to be without any distractions. So when it comes to, as I mentioned time and time again, music is your best friend when it comes to getting into the zone. But another thing that helps a lot is working out. Now, when it comes to working out, there are 2 types. One is a workout that tires you. One is a workout that energizes you. You are looking for a workout that energizes you. For me, it was just doing a couple of push-ups. I would aim for around, let's say, 18 to 22 push-ups. That's how much I would do. I know it would get blood flowing through my veins, through my head. It would make me a little tired. I would be panting at the end of it. But I think it's worth, the chest pump that you get after doing a couple of good push-ups, like full depth, full range push-ups, feels really nice. So I would suggest it's just light exercise. You can do jumping jacks, you can do push-ups. Push-ups are not easy for everyone. So in case you're not able to do push-ups, then you can do jumping jacks or jump around on the before the exam, so you're ready for the entire thing. You just need blood rushing through your veins. You just need blood rushing in your head. Everything that's going on. But the main idea is to write a to-do list and just get that momentum going. So listen to good music. Like, for example, I've recommended this time and time again, Till I Collapse by Eminem, Lose Yourself by Eminem. There is Running Through, I'm constantly forgetting Tom Petty songs name, but Running Down a Dream running down a dream by Tom Petty, or you listen to a couple of metal songs, Metallica, Iron Maiden, you listen to any kind of upbeat music that gets you into that zone, Foo Fighters, name it, and rock, metal. I am a big fan of all this. So if you like Dream Theater, whatever it is, just something that gets you into the that pump of solving. But at the same time, as Shreekanth mentioned in the live, please don't do this if music distracts you. Music was something that enhanced my prep. It used to be something that I could solve maths with. It could be something that I could read an RC with if I wanted to, and go ahead with, because I used to always do that. So if it's something that doesn't help you, then please stick to the workouts. Stick to at least some form of exercise so that your mind is running. But coming to the most important part, I think when you're going to the center, like let's say I have left from, let's say the center is around 45 minutes away from my house. So when the time comes in those 45 minutes, the first thing I'll be doing is revising all my formulas. I'll revise all the formulas that I've written in the formula book. At least there is to be some sort of revision that I'm doing. So I'm first going through the formulas so that if there is a question that comes with just a formula, I finish it and solve it. That's it. I don't think about it too much. Finish, solve, go ahead. That's the idea. Now, the first thing I would do is that. Now, in that same formula book, I had written down the motivation. If you watched the early video before this, you know what I'm talking about. I had written down a couple of sentences, a couple of quotes, or a couple of scores in my mocks that would help me motivate that would motivate me and help me focus better on the day of the exam. So that's what something that I think I'd written around 10 pages about this, about quotes and just things that would motivate me, mock scores, my strategy for every type of question, just anything that would I just written down in case it helped me. Like you don't know what helps you on the last day, but just a refresher about how you look at a puzzle or how you look at, let's say, an RC, or how you look at data sufficiency questions. It just helps a lot. So if you bought our course, I think you'll be able to, there are lots of approaches that we've shared with you. If you made a note of it, a summary of it would be really useful. But if you just try to think about what we had taught in the videos or whatever you know as well, I think it should be good enough. You don't need to worry too much about, remembering each and every data point, but just a brief overview of topics and how you would solve them. Just visualization of that. Then what I think is really important is doing a little bit of reading. See, the idea is to mimic what you'll be doing in the exam. What are you going to be doing in the exam? You'll be solving a lot of math. You'll be solving a lot of logical. You'll be solving abstract, and you'll be reading RCs and reading words. So what you can do is just take a couple of RCs. You just find any article. aeon.com has a lot of articles. You can just find any article, New Yorker, any article that is there. Don't spend too much time on it. Just get your eyes moving. Just get your eyes that, like I am doing it too much time. Just move your eyes a little bit so that, your eyes are moving in sync with what you're reading, just to warm up your eyes as well, to be ready to read fast in the exam. Then another thing that you can do is speed math. Like, for example, there used to be a website known as mathtrainer.com or mathtrainer.org. I recommended this to a lot of TTP students. I'm not sure whether the website is still on. I remember someone reached out saying that they had gone to a subscription-based platform. In case it's still there, mathtrainer.org is a wonderful website which gives you a lot of random questions. Like they'll ask you it's 13 into 7, you just got to say 91. You to enter the data as fast as you can. The faster you do it, the higher the score you have. So this is something that just gets your head running. It just gets you into the zone. You just need to keep doing something like this before the exam. I'd say around 10 minutes of this or even 5 minutes of this and you're good to go. So a couple of questions, a couple of, let's say one passage or a couple of paragraphs of reading, 5-6 minutes of solving quant. Logical doesn't really require you to solve anything because if you know it, you will be able to solve it. If you don't know it, you will read and try to understand on the spot. But if you're, that only happens if you're in the zone. And I think math and the warm up and the reading will put you into the zone. So even abstract does not require any much revision during the day of the exam. But the main thing over here has to be getting the momentum, because once you sit for the exam, once you sit in the paper, once the paper starts, once the countdown timer starts, that's it. You hit the ground running. You run behind the paper. You run behind each and every minute that is there, each and every question that you need to solve. You solve everything one after the other. There's no stopping you once you start. So once that start button is clicked, nothing stops you after that. You just run for it. You run. That's all you have to do, right? Now that's why the momentum has to be developed before it's like a pre-match ritual. You know how when you again, any tennis match. I used to play a lot of table tennis. I played national level table tennis and represented India at in a Bahrain tournament. So the idea is that before you play the tournament, before you play a match, you're first warming up for half an hour. For half an hour, you're standing, you're running, you're going around. Before the game starts, you're practicing strokes with the opponent. You're getting into the zone. You're trying to think about the strategy that you're going to use. It's exactly that, but in a mock, in the final exam as well. That's what you have to do. So just you learn a lot from sports, and this is exactly what I'm trying to say. That it's the same thing, but you put it in a mock perspective and a academic perspective in this. So that's why the warm up. That's why just get into the momentum beforehand, so that once it starts, you hit it hard. Now that is the idea. And one really important thing that I had to mention was, what do you do when you sit in the hall? Because what happens, I think with COVID also, my CET'20 was also like this. I was sitting there waiting for the paper to start. So usually there's around 30 minutes where you're just sitting doing nothing. And the invigilators will be completing all the formalities, going through everyone's admit cards, going through all the information, seeing if everything's right, everyone's in the right place. You can visit the washroom at this time. So if you feel like you want to, please do it. This is the time to go. That those 30 minutes you have to go at that time. You cannot go after that. So if anything at all, I used to sit there and meditate, think about everything, all the prep that I put into it, and just build that confidence that, yes, I can get this. This is something that is in my hands. And just exactly what I've built up so far with the confidence, just close your eyes, just sit there for 10, 15 minutes and let the time pass. Do a couple of calculations in your head, revise things like squares, cubes, reciprocals, A to Z, the numberings, A to Z, the 1 to 26 numbers that we require, the things that you can revise. I think this is about it. If you're able to revise this much, I think you are set for you'll be set for a lot of the questions that you need. You can revise a couple of tables, just, overall, just get a couple of things flowing, and you should be set for the paper. But in those 30 minutes, just do not talk to any of your partners. Do not care about how much their prep is. We probably won't have any partners because of COVID restrictions, but we'll see how the exam hall is, how CET decides to conduct it. Just focus on doing the best in the paper. It should be fine. And for all the people asking for last minute motivation or everything that is there, biggest motivation has to be you yourself. It is you and your story, how you want to build your story to the next year, to the next generation, to the next decades. Everything after this depends on how you do over the next few hours. Remember that. Remember Shah Rukh Khan's dialogue from Chak De India. Remember all these quotes that help you focus get you into the right zone. And if you need any other motivation, this is just a joke. Please don't take this seriously. My birthday is on the 15th of September. So if you guys enjoy the content, give me a birthday gift, get into JBNS, tell me we help you out, and that'll be the best birthday gift. That's the motivation for you. And that's about it. I don't have anything else to add. This probably is one of the last videos that we're making before the CET exam. So from the bottom of all our hearts, all the best. We hope our content has been useful to you. We hope to see you on the other side. All of us, all 6 of us are in this together. Like, we are here with you and we are here with you. And after the exam, so reach out to us, leave comments after the exam, however the paper goes, whatever it is, reach out to us and let us know. And yeah, thank you very much, guys. Thank you, guys. It's been a wonderful year for us as well. We've learned a lot about how to talk to people, what students require, for figuring out how to help them. Hopefully it's been helpful to you guys. So just remember, motivation comes from within. My birthday was it is my birthday on 15th, but do not take that as your motivation. Motivation is getting into JBRS for yourself. Nothing else matters apart from that. So just keep that in mind. All the best, guys. Hope to see you on the other side of this. And I look forward to results this year. I hope you guys are excited as well. Just keep a calm mind, give it your best. It will all be good. If you worked hard, it's all going to be good. Please do not worry about it. So take care, guys, and all the best. See you.